Hello, guys. K here. Today, I want to address modern social problems. That is my goal in this video, is to address them. If you like this type of discussion, I can obviously go deeper on individual aspects of this topic, but just let me know. So just hear me out, okay? Our modern social problems stem from the alienation between ourselves and the labor that we practice, the alienation between ourselves and our neighbors, the alienation between ourselves and the environment. Like, we are completely separated from some aspects of life, and it's very dehumanizing. Um, and I must say, like, even I feel very hesitant on talking about certain subjects because my social upbringing makes it very difficult to convey emotions in a responsible, or maybe not a responsible way. I should say in a very clear and concise way. There you go. I cannot convey my emotions in a clear and concise way, guys. Do you have these issues? Do you have this problem? One moment. You already know I get distracted. But yeah, do you have these problems? Like, do you find certain aspects of life more challenging than others? Like, for me, let me give you some examples of situations that I find very terrifying socially. For Let's start off with employment. I hate the idea of interviewing, like, employers, specifically employers. I hate this idea that I have to almost like make a like I'm making a deal from a position of weakness, because the employer, it's not that like the employer has all the power over me. I mean, according to, on paper at least, on paper, my life at least, I don't have to necessarily seek work out. So that gives me certain freedoms in that I don't need to necessarily um, desperately seek the approval of an employer to get hired for a business or a company, right? I have no like um I am not that desperate, essentially. I'm not desperate for labor enough to just take any job, right? So for me, I try to look for jobs that are meaningful, right? Now, I'm not saying that I work for free. What I'm saying is I look for jobs that I can look back on and say, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that work, you know? But like I said, if I was not living this comfortable situation I'm in, right? This comfortable lifestyle, um, it would terrify me, you know? The idea of trying to convince another human being to employ me so I can avoid starvation. It's terrifying. I can't think of how people like that live, you know? Not a very healthy way of looking at life, you know? So there's one example, okay? So I have a tough time talking to employers because I don't need their aid. I don't need them. Literally, I don't need to be employed. I want to, you know, don't get me wrong. I think it's fun to do things in a productive manner, but, you know, there's that. Let's go on to topic number two. Topic number two, okay. Public speaking, or speaking with people, like, you know, outside in the public world, right? I do shy away sometimes from talking to people who, especially if the conversation's like a more freestyle approach where you're just going topic, 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 opinion, 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 topic, topic, topic. Um, Sometimes I drop the ball, right? I freeze up. And it's like, I can't figure out why I freeze up sometimes. Why do I feel so shy in the real world? Why do I feel so much more comfortable on the internet? Could it be the anonymity that gives me a sense of courage on the internet? No, I don't think so. I think it's because since I grew up on the internet, I happen to find other people who also grew up on the internet. And maybe that similarity makes it easier to socialize with people online, or maybe just people who are online in general are more predisposed. I'm not going to use that word until I figure it out. My bad. So what I'm trying to say essentially is they were conditioned, right? They were conditioned to be more open to other people who are online, right? You know, online forums like Reddit, for example, just like everyone likes to joke about how socially handicapped a Redditor is, but like it goes a little deeper than that, right? I think part of my upbringing has sabotaged my ability to be a complete human being. And before I'm gonna, catch this one before anyone, shoots it at me. But I don't hate my parents and I don't hate my family. I love my family. I love my parents. Maybe this goes beyond, myself and it goes beyond my family, but like cultural upbringing and your social economic status, not status, I'm not European law, but yeah, your social upbringing, your socioeconomic status are huge contributors to whether or not you're living a healthy life or not, right? Another example is how do you regularly travel? What is your main transportation option, right? For me, I don't drive. I refuse to drive. I will never own a vehicle. I will never be a driver. I'm just like my parents and my parents before me. I don't know. I did drive for a little bit in my earlier years, but I'm not going to be doing that anymore. It's just a what's it called? A sink. It's a money sink. For me, in my opinion, owning a vehicle is simply a money sink. Um, so there's that. Oh, speaking of transportation, have you guys ever considered that your ability to get around your community impacts your ability to be social? Think about it. When was the last time you walked to an interesting place just because you wanted to? From your home, right? It's been a while, right? It's been a while for me, certainly. And if you have public transportation, like mine, it's incredibly unreliable. It's slow. It's infrequent. And the worst part is it doesn't always take you to interesting places. It's like our cities, right? Our cities are designed to tear us down into individual socially atomized units called the nuclear family. And for those of you who don't know, the nuclear family is essentially the whole two parents, mother, father, and about two kids or so. Or that was three. So mother, father, about two kids. Something like that. About this. That's what people think of when they think of nuclear family. Now, I want to make a quick complaint about the nuclear family. No, I do not believe the nuclear family is the traditional family unit. Okay, look it up. Do me a favor, don't trust me. Look it up. Go onto Google and search up nuclear family origins, or when did the nuclear family originate. There you go. Look up when did the nuclear family originate, and then look up the year. It's probably around 1950s or so. Okay, now I want you to immediately after that look up when did the tribal family originate, right? Because if I remember correctly in high school, they said that the tribal family unit began around 8,000 BCE or something like that, like many, many thousands of years older than the nuclear family. If anything, supporting the nuclear family means throwing away tradition. It means giving up tradition. And for those of you who don't know, a tribal family is a larger unit than a simple nuclear family. Let me try to break it down. So I may miss a few aspects of the tribal family unit, Help me out in the comments, please. So here it goes. You've got the father, you've got the mother, right? You've got some kids. Who cares, right? Kids. More importantly, you've got the father, you've got the mother. Each father and mother have their own father and mother. So you don't just have two parents. You have actually six. Literally six, not including your cousins. You have potentially six people to guide you, to lead you, to show you examples of right and wrong. You have so much more support with the tribal family than you do the nuclear family. Economically speaking, think about it. You've got more hands coming to, well, I should say, you've got more people coming together to help raise that one, that one supposed child, right? Have you ever heard of the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child? Well, that wasn't just a silly quote. It's real. Think about it, okay? You have your parents, right? You have your extended family, which includes your uncles and cousins and grandparents and so on. But then you gotta also factor in the community your child is interacting with as they grow up, okay? You got your child has teachers, classmates, right? Depending on the age, social workers, therapists, right? There are so many people. Think of, like, no, seriously, think about your childhood and think of how many people you've had to interact with from the moment you were born to the moment you became an adult. It wasn't just your parents and like your siblings, right? It was a lot more than that. And I am starting to believe as I grow older that we need to come up with a modern approach to the traditional tribal family. And no, I don't believe that the nuclear family is a great solution. I think it's a terrible solution because what it does, I feel, is, I said this previously, like a few minutes past, what it does is it socially atomizes us and reduces our economic, social, and political power. It keeps us from forming groups with like-minded people and committing to action, right? And I feel like that's kind of a tragedy. And maybe, if America wasn't the great, if you believe, the myth, right, that America is the greatest country on earth, the wealthiest nation in human history with the largest military on earth, you believe all of those things to be true, then why does it feel like our country is sabotaging our ability to prosper, right? Or why does it feel like our communities are prioritizing the needs of not just the wealthy, to be honest, but just people with certain lifestyles, right? Homeowners, automobile owners, right? Now, I don't believe in the middle class. I may make a video in the future ranting about the middle class, but I'll save that for another video. I'm going to wrap things up because it's almost 14 minutes. So guys, just think about what I've been talking about here and use this as a way to start, right? This is my way of starting the conversation, right? And if you want me to continue this conversation, go into more deeper topics, perhaps interview people and get their perspective on their emotional and social needs and their wants, maybe we could really get into a really good discussion on this. I feel very interested in why my personal behaviors could be impacted by the society at large. And if you're the same way, then we could do this again some other time. I will think about it. I'll watch how this video does. Anyways, I'm done. I'm going to go back to the whole gym and I'm going to exercise a bit more. And then I'm going to go home and then I'm going to try to find someone to play Fallout 76 with. That's the goal. Find someone to play a video game with. As you guys know, as you guys been watching my channel, you've noticed I've been playing some Fallout 4, which is super fun, but like it's the single player game. I want to try the multiplayer Fallout with a friend and see if co-op really does make a Fallout game more fun or not. Anyways, that's enough about me. I'm done. Take care, guys. See ya.